Hello, everybody. Here we are again for the second part of the presentation dedicated to the eNOTICE project. We are going to introduce the network sustainability study. This was a really important task of the second work package of the project, and was dedicated to the long perspective sustainability of the network. So we try to understand which could be the way to make a network able to survive to the end of the EU project fund. First of all, we started from the elaboration of the framework of this network. And it was clear from the beginning that we have to define the mission, the expectations, and the management structure of this network in order to design a concrete, a solid building, a solid framework for the network. Then we started defining the sustainability plan. We used a step-by-step procedure, starting from the collection of essential information, and then passing to the definition of the case study. Our case study, of course, is a network of CBRNE training centers, so a specific type of network. The next two activities, partnership building and development of resources, are two activities that must be performed in parallel. And of course, when these the partnerships and the resources have been developed, they must be continuously updated and increased in order to have an active network. So the last part, the last step of this procedure is the maintenance of partnership and procedures and resources, because and it's a sort of continuous activity to be developed. And then, of course, all these steps are included in the sustainability plan, are part of the sustainability plan. So the first step, case definition. After, of course, the initial identification of basic characteristics of the training center network. The case definition started from the architecture of the network. So the eNOTICE network have been described, as you can see here in a chart. You have on the left the demand side, on the right the supply side, and you have also the actor, the security practitioner, or if you prefer, first responders, and the research and innovation providers that are on the right side, on the supply side. The place where we imagine that these different actors should meet, of course, in the eNOTICE project, are the training centers. CBRN training center, mono or multidisciplinary CBRN training center, where we can have tests, demonstration, and simulation. Of course, as I've already said in the first part of the presentation dedicated to the eNOTICE project, we have not defined a network dedicated only to security practitioner and research and innovation providers, but of course these two are the main actors. Then we imagine that also other stakeholders could be involved in the network. So, for example, policymakers, academia, and other kind of actors that are interested in the activities that, of course, are here represented. So, testing new equipment, testing procedures, and so on. The second part of the case definition, to get more in detail, was the definition of key performance indicators, and this was a particularly relevant activity that was performed in Work Package 2 and brought to the production of a specific deliverable, the deliverable dedicated to the identification of key performance indicator of the network. As you can see, first of all, we asked ourselves 5 simple questions, and we tried to identify the key aspects that could bring us the answer to this question: why, what, who and where, how the network is organized, how and when. And on the right column, you can find the characteristics defining which we expected to find the answer to the question on the left column: context and background, the network's mission, the network's scope, and so on. I would like also to remind you that all the deliverables of the project are available on the website. I will give you other indication to find the eNOTICE website, but I kindly ask you to visit the website in order to see all the publication, information, and other kind of services that you can find in the website. Then, next step, building partnership. Here you can see 3 different pictures taken from the 3 different activities that are not simple joint activities of the eNOTICE project, but are activities developed in cooperation between the eNOTICE consortium and other EU project consortia. For example, including project that is dedicated to the realization of a network of radiological and nuclear training facilities and research institutes, and the proactive project that is dedicated to the development of training activities dedicated to vulnerable citizens, vulnerable categories of citizens. And I think that we have established these first 2 collaboration, but this will be only 2 of the amount of the collaboration that we will organize before the end of the project. Resource development. Here you can see all the resources that have been developed, designed in the eNOTICE project, and that will be part of the eNOTICE network. I want to distinguish between eNOTICE project that we expect that has a duration of 5 years, and the eNOTICE network that we expect to have a long life. So here you can see, first of all, the eNOTICE website that is online, already online. You can find it with a very simple research with Google. I think that it's the first result, but of course I will give you the link in the next slide. And it's a collection of information about the project, information about the network, but also services. For example, the catalog and the map of the training center that are part of the eNOTICE network. And there you can find a lot of information about the training center, their capabilities, their facilities, the access, where they are, and so on. They have, and then of course you can find the training center that is able to provide you the training that you need. So on the base of the request that you can do through the website service, you can find the best training center in relation to your needs. The capacity label. We tried to define a very easy way to identify the characteristics and the capabilities of each single training center through icons. It's not a quality label, because a quality label requires a certification. It's connected to a certification, but in our grant agreement, in the grant agreement of the eNOTICE project, we don't have money to establish a system of certification. So we are now developing a capacity label. The newsletter. The newsletter is another relevant instrument for the network. In fact, we use it to disseminate the information about the project, of course, the network, of course, but also other useful information for the CBRN community. The EU project list for potential collaboration. This is more dedicated to an internal use. We have organized this list to have a quick overview of the project that could be interesting for new collaboration. And then, of course, maybe the most important activity and resource for the eNOTICE network, that are the joint activities. Joint activities allow us to meet all the eNOTICE partners, eNOTICE project partners, but also the member of the network. And it's different because we have a certain number of partners that are partner of the project, but we have a very big number of network partner, okay? And it's useful to get in contact with them, to give the possibility to the network partner to interact face-to-face, giving also the possibility to industry to present their products, the equipments that they have developed. Last step, maintain partnership and resources. Here, I briefly show you which are the critical aspects of partnership and resources maintenance. Of course, this is linked to the experience that we have done during the past 3 years. So, for example, considering partnership, we have to consider that every time we are in contact with our partners, with the partners of the network. We have to consider a lot of things regarding the secure management of information. So when we and you had also the possibility during the past 2 years to consider all the problem linked to the GDPR. And when you manage a network, you have to consider all these aspects. Each kind of exchange of information must receive the must be agreed by the part that are exchanging information. It's very simple, but it's also necessary to consider this aspect. Critical aspect regarding resources. The website and the ECC, that is the eNOTICE community. These are two very important instruments because we have the possibility to exchange information with the interested actors, and through the website, for example. And inside the community, we have a forum. But of course, if they are not constantly, continuously updated, these two instruments risk to be not useful. So we have to continuously work on them. And this is really a crucial aspect to be considered for the long-term sustainability of the network. The capacity label. The capacity label, it's an interesting instrument because it could become a standard to identify easily and to recognize the training center that belong to the network on the base of the icon. But on the other hand, we to arrive to have an instrument that is a standard, a common standard, it's very difficult. So we have to face a big barrier that is the capability to bring this instrument to a big number of subjects and let them accept this instrument, this standard, okay? For what regard the newsletter is a relevant service for the eNOTICE network users because it can be very useful to give them information, news, and other useful communication. But if it's too frequent, it risks to be not read. Otherwise, if it's not frequent enough, it's not useful. So we are now trying to release a newsletter each 6 months. Again, other critical aspects regarding the resources of our network. The eNOTICE joint activities. These are really an interesting occasion to be in contact with CBRN community. And of course, we are trying to exploit all the possible point of discussion, point of meeting, point of contact that this specific instrument give us. But in the same time, we know that we have the possibility to organize this kind of exercise with the fund of the project of the European community. We don't know what or better, we are trying to find a solution to make this particularly specific kind of joint activity sustainable with a long-term perspective. And we are imagining some way to sponsorize this kind of activity that are really a core instrument for the network. The map and the catalog. It's another really important aspect, the improvement of the network members. In fact, if we want to arrive to a plateau, to a standardized training center, CBRN training center network, we need to include as much training center as possible. In this way, if some first responder in the future will start thinking to a training, a specific training, we will expect that he will think to the eNOTICE network to find the best training activities for his need, his or her need. The collaboration with the EU project, of course, it's really important because through this collaboration, we have the possibility to find new potential member of the networks and to use synergies to reduce costs. Now, the last part of the sustainability analysis regarded also the three aspects of the of sustainability, the three dimensions of sustainability, from the definition of sustainability, that are the social, economic, and environmental dimension. So when we started working on the long-term sustainability of the network, we also tried to understand what is the deep meaning of a sustainable network of CBRN training, considering these three dimensions. So not only considering the economic aspect, but taking consideration also the social and environmental aspect. That is challenging if we consider that we are speaking of a network, okay? We have developed a set of criteria, okay, that will help us to consider the sustainability from the three point of view of the three dimensions, people, profit, and planet, of all the new decision regarding the network that we will take. Sorry. So here you can see, for example, regarding the criteria for the social and ethical dimension, that we briefly call people. When we are taking a decision, we will ask to ourselves if this decision will determine an improvement for employment and working condition, justice and equity on the part of stakeholders, or it will be able to foster the integration of the weak and marginalized. For example, if we considering the activities with the proactive project that is dedicated to vulnerable people, of course, deciding to establish a collaboration with them, with the proactive project, will allow us to foster the integration of weak and marginalized. So each decision we will take in the future will be filtered on the basis of these parameters, the 3 dimensions of sustainability. Of course, regarding the profit, our decision should be considered on the basis of their capability to determine better our market position, the profitability, and the added value for the business, for our business, the added value for the members. What, for example, which is the benefit, for example, for the training center that decide to belong, to be part of the network?